Oh, you thought you couldn't hear me, but you can hear me. And we are live on Professor Bats and Friends. Here we go. Welcome to the show. Well, I tell you what, it is good to be here on a Taco Tuesday. Tony, you live true with the Taco Tuesday.
I did. I did. We had some good tacos this evening. Buddy, it is good to see your face.
It is good to see your face, and it's good to be seen. And the Gen Xers are here. First
They
thing,
are.
first thing.
They
Appreciate y'all
are.
being here.
Hey, you guys.
Glad y'all are here joining us. We have a banner show tonight. We have a good show. It's going to be a good show.
Heck yeah.
But man, how's your week going?
Buddy, it's been busy. Last couple of weeks, it's just been nonstop. It seems like working on the Jeep.
Let me guess. You're a Jeep owner, so I know that you have been working on the Jeep.
I have.
That's just a given.
I have.
Because in order to own a Jeep, you got to be a Jeep mechanic. So
Yep.
let's have it. What you been doing?
Yep. So, just catching up on some maintenance. We had some axle seals in the front that had to be replaced, and some spider gears in the back. Oil changes, all that kind of good stuff. So
yeah,
it's just been a little bit at a time the last couple of weeks getting that done.
Yeah.
Lots of stuff. Arla and Misty, since they started the Rebel Rally, all that stuff, we've had packages and all kinds of support coming in, so it's been really exciting.
Incredible. We love the support from the people and from the manufacturers that are sending stuff to them. We love that. So that's pretty cool. Experience in Arkansas. Thank you for being on here. We're excited that everybody is going to join us tonight for the show. We got a few people watching, and man, it's always cool to see people on there. Well, I had it was kind of an up and down weekend. You might say I had to work a little bit, up and down. Yeah, I worked half marathon. So I got to tell you by experience at working this half marathon. So here I am. My patrol car is sitting in the middle of an intersection, and I'm letting all these runners go by. And first of all, this family pulls up with all these signs and stuff. And they get up there and they're cheering for their daughter, their sister, or whatever. There's like 7 of them pile out of this SUV, and they go over there and they want to cheer on this girl. They're waiting for her to come. Well, the dad, they walk over and I say, hey, y'all can go over there and stand by my patrol car. And that way y'all can see them coming and they'll just run right by you. And they're like, oh, man, that'd be awesome. So they went over there and they had their signs up. They were, woohoo, y'all are doing great. Every time they ran by. Well, the dad got tired of waiting, and he walks over and sits down on the front bumper of my patrol car. And he just sits there with the blue lights going and everything. And I thought, boy, he just made himself at home. So that was pretty funny. But the funniest thing that happened to me was right at the end. This old man, he was probably 70 something years old, and he runs by. He's got on sweatpants and a wife beater, and he has got a 40-ounce PBR in his hand.
Oh,
he was running with it. He is warming up for the race. Public intoxication at its best. It was great. I just loved it. Waved to him. I said, man, truck on, brother. So that was so good. I love that. But anyway, had to work that morning. I was able to get out and do some hiking Saturday afternoon. During the day, I actually went to Woolly Hollow State Park. That's just north of Greenbrier. When I was a little kid, we used to go there before it was ever a state park. It was just like a random, I don't even know if it was a city park back then, but they had like paddle boats and different things. Had a little lake there that you could go to, but I had no idea the extensive hiking trails that they had. And I did one that was like 3.5 miles. And then I did a couple other ones. They got a beautiful little cabin there. So I got to experience that. That was really neat. Saturday night, went to watch the Wampus Cats get the tar beat out of them by Bryant in football. That's kind of the way it goes. Look at there. I don't know which one of you is on here with the day we make, but thank you for being over here. Oh, look here. I guess that's Misty because there is Feral Joe.
There's Feral Joe.
Thank you, Joe, for being on here and watching. We were just talking about Misty and Arla with the new Rebel Rally stuff, and want everybody to encourage them to get out and support them. They actually have a way that you can donate. They have to raise a ton of money to this Rebel Rally. So get out there and support them. But man, Joe, I miss you, buddy. I miss you. I hope Ohio is everything that you thought it would be. Is that where they are? Or are they
in Indiana?
Okay.
Indiana, Ohio. It's close.
Same difference as your life.
You'll see him December 3rd, I think.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I want to make sure that everybody knows about that. December 3rd at Artemis Overland Hardware in Springfield, Missouri. We're going to be doing a lot of good stuff. It's going to be rigs and coffee. We're going to have a Thanksgiving dinner. It'll be like open house for the new place up there, and it will be amazing. I really hope everybody can come out to that. I really want to see everybody there.
Toys for Tots.
Toys for Tots.
Yep.
Toys for Tots.
Bring an unwrapped toy.
Yeah, bring an unwrapped toy, and we will donate that to Toys for Tots, make a big donation, and hopefully the Marines will come pick that up while we're there. That'd be really cool. Yep. But Sunday, got to spend some time at Devil's Den. It was a beautiful day. The wind was blowing a little bit. It was a little bit warm, but got to spend the day out there and hiked a few trails out there. Got to see some of the overlooks that you have up in your neck of the woods. It was a beautiful, beautiful spot. Look at there. There is the number one lady that lives in your house with you.
Miss Bats Off-Road.
Miss Bats Off-Road. Thank you for being on here with us and supporting us in our little venture where we like to talk to people. But that's what's going on with us. We've had some pretty busy schedules here lately. Tony has actually went back to work. I know, Arla, I'm sorry I wasn't able to come over. But in my defense, last time I was up there, I came over and somebody wouldn't let me in your house. So I just want to say that.
You did. It's true. And Sunday was hectic. I was trying to get Arla's rear end back together, and so. Yeah.
Well, you tore a rear end apart, you got to put it back together. Oh, we won't go there. So anyway, today, I don't know if anybody knows it, but the polls are only going to be open for like another hour if you're in Arkansas. So if you haven't got out there and voted, get out there and vote. Use that, because that is your right
voice.
You're right. Your
Yeah.
voice. Have your voice. If you don't vote, you can't go out. So there you go. But for about an hour, we're going to take your mind off that, and hopefully we can talk about some stuff that maybe would be relevant to you and to us as well. And we got a good show that we're going to talk about some really cool stuff coming up. But first, we're going to talk about our sponsor spotlights.
It's now time for the sponsor spotlight, talking about all the products, services, events, and businesses that we use and love. Here we go.
Yeah, so this week is MC Ranch Overland and the original fire reflector.
Yeah.
MC Ranch Overland, owned and started by Michael and Carolyn Offerhaus, hence the M&C, have created a business where we all can build communities, share stories, embrace moments, and make memories one campfire at a time. Now, the original fire reflector by MC Ranch Overland, designed to enhance and improve on all the aspects of campfire and the outdoor cooking experience. Using the principles of a parabolic arc and the properties of aluminum, it reflects heat exponentially back to the user or users, keeping them warm and cozy. It also reflects light into your campsite, creating a bright, engaging, and warm glow. The strong and lightweight aluminum construction of the original fire reflector weighs in at a mere 27 pounds. Neatly folded, the reflector stows away into its 1000 Cordura military-grade carrying case, desert tan in color on the outside and reflective orange on the inside.
Don't you have one of those, like handy?
I do. I sure do. I could show everybody.
Right here. I mean, you got it like handy. There it is right there.
There it is.
And it comes with a really cool patch on the outside of it too, as well, that you can remove via Velcro. That's pretty cool. Yeah, bam. There it is. MCRanchOverland.com.
Yeah, we got to put this thing to use at Rendezvous.
We sure did. The very first night at Rendezvous, it was real windy. It was really cold. We set up the propane fire pit and put the fire reflector around it, and it reflected the light and kept the heat in that one little area. And since I'm like skin and bones now, I was freezing to death, and it was just amazing. I love it.
It worked really good, and the it really reflected the light well too, and helped light up camp there.
I thought so too.
And so another little thing that happened recently, I want to give a congratulations to Mike and Carolyn, is they finally got their U.S. patent on this thing. So they were really happy about that. It happened right before Rendezvous. So
that's cool. I know they've been trying to get that for several years now, and they finally were able to get that through. And I know a lot of the things that you see says patent pending. That's because it takes forever for that to actually come through, and for them to get that, that's a pretty big step.
Yeah, big deal. Back and forth through the patent attorney, several times. So anyway, congratulations to them. We appreciate their support. So everybody
definitely. So check them out, mcranchoverland.com. They also have another tool that they have that just came out with to carry firewood.
Yep.
Can't remember what it's called.
Dadgummit, I can't remember. It's similar in design, out of the same fabric that the bag is, but it opens up and you can put your wood in there and carry back to when you're gathering, for your campsite and stuff. So
pretty cool.
Story
they make really good, high quality materials. I was very impressed with the quality of it. It is kind of big, but it's kind of thin. So if you can stand stuff up and pack stuff next to it, it is really, really cool. And I've used it several times with campfires, and it's getting campfire weather.
I know.
So
and we've got rain where we can actually have campfires now.
They have taken away the fire bans finally.
Finally.
Arkansas is no longer in risk of burning down like California, so we can actually have a campfire now. It's pretty amazing. So anyway, check them out. You may want to get one of these for your rig. Who knows?
That's right.
We love ours. That's for sure. Well, last week we talked about the Overland extracurricular, and we started talking about different things that we like to do when we're overlanding. And that's kind of where we wanted to carry on again here, because last week we talked about the national parks, the state parks, visiting different things, going to grocery stores and getting local food and stuff like that. And this week we're going to carry that to a little bit different area that we'll talk about, but we want to talk about what is outside your course or career when you're involved in an activity. What do you like to do? So when you're overlanding, what do you like to do? Many of us know why overlanding gains so much attention and why we love to do it, because we love the outdoors, we love to camp, we love spending time with people like-minded like we are, like Tony. I love you, Tony.
I love you too.
And we love the gear. Oh my gosh, do we ever love gear? I have a garage full. I have 2 bedrooms full. I have a living room full and a kitchen full and all that. So everything's got some kind of gear in it somehow.
It's nonstop.
It's really ridiculous.
All the gear and having to re-gear and reload and depending on where we're going and who's going and how long we're going. I don't know.
Most of my gear has to do with cooking. It has to do with cooking because I like to eat and I like to cook, and that's it. But I also like to get away from people. So I will. It's funny how we spend so much money to live like homeless people, but we have to do that in order to get away from people, because that's kind of what we do. But anyway, what are the extracurricular activities you like to do? And it seems like for me that this list grows every single year, because as I've gotten
You have added to it with the changes that you've made and your health and all that stuff. It's just opened the world up. And I'm just amazed at everything that you've got going on right now.
Well, I appreciate that. And kind of my whole attitude on the whole deal is I don't like, I've lost some weight. I've got in there and I've started working out, but I kind of want to incorporate what I like to do in the outdoors with working out. So that's why, I said this past weekend, I went hiking Saturday and went hiking Sunday. So instead of going to a gym where I'm sitting on a treadmill looking at myself in the mirror, I'm actually out looking at fall colors, seeing deer, animals, whatever, other people, and just seeing what, the parks have to offer. And it's amazing,
Now, a quick question, kind of off script. When you hike, you got a chest pack that you carry, right?
I do.
You do.
I thought I had it in here, but I don't have it in here. I got a chest pack from Switchback Outdoor Safety that looks a lot like that. Yeah. Switchback Outdoor Safety. Yeah.
Dude, this came in the other day.
Did it really?
Yes, it did. I ordered one of these at Rendezvous. I'm so excited. Thank you, Aaron, with Switchback. He got me a cool pack set up. I'm still waiting on some other stuff to come in for it, but yes.
I tell you what, that chest pack on my backpacking trip was priceless because when you carry everything's on your back and it's real hard to get to, and you don't want to stop all the time. You have, a set number of miles that you want to cover. And so I kept my snacks, I kept my gun, I kept my phone. Everything was right here. So anytime I wanted to take a picture, it was right there. Take a picture, put it back. Anytime I wanted to snack, I had energy gummies, I had snack bars, I had everything stuffed down in there. So anytime I wanted something to eat, if I wanted to shoot something, boom, there it was. I was right there. Hey, Michael, what's up? How are you, buddy? Thanks for joining us here on the show. And so anyway, the chest pack was amazing. And I got mine a year or two ago at Big Iron Overland Rally, and it just saved me because, I had gummies. I had gummies. And anyway, I voted no. On issue 4. Just
I thought the same thing, Michael. And I just didn't say
they were energy gummies, not weed gummies. Yeah, not weed. Amy Marler from Lady on Toyotas is in the house. Yeah. Feral Joe got him one apparently as well. So the chest packs.
It was because of, I didn't realize you had one from Aaron, but it was because, Misty and Joe both have one and they were showing me theirs. And so that's whenever, I went down.
Such a good friend, Michael. I appreciate that. Yeah. But yeah, it was really, and let me tell you, I have found some things that I absolutely love. They're little waffles that they have like, syrup on them, but they're like energy waffles, and they're little bitty. They're like this big, and they have like different flavors for them. But you eat them, and they're so sweet and they're so good, and they just give you energy. And the gummies were good, and stuff to put in my water. So I had all that just right there, and that chest pack was so freaking awesome.
So everything's just right there. You don't have
and it balanced me out too because not everything was on my back. I had some on the front too. So
pull some of it front,
But
awesome.
But yeah, that was really good, and I absolutely love my chest pack. So that's cool. You will love that.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
Well, I used to like to just go out, set up camp, sit in my chair, and stay there. And I actually still like to do that. I mean, we went out on the Buffalo River a few weeks ago.
Yeah,
there was like 4 of us parked there. And, some of the guys were like, hey, what do you want to do today? You want to go out and hit some trails? And I'm like, I think I'm just going to stay right here in my chair. The Razorback game was on. You had figured out a way to put the Razorback game on. That's back when we were winning games. And, we got to watch that.
That seems like so long
Michael's
ago.
on here. Oklahoma State hadn't won a game in forever. So
oh, no.
If you want to start ribbing me on my gummies, I'll rib you on your team. But I'm my team sucks too, so I really can't say that. But just like to sit there, and that used to be what I like to do, and just sit there take my mind off things, get out there and enjoy the outdoors. And I still like to do that. It's the core of what I like to do. But there are so many other ways that I like to experience the outdoors. And I know a lot of people like to do that too. And so we're going to talk about that. We're going to dive off into that. But first, we're going to be reminded of who we are and where we are. We are watching and you're listening to Professor Bats and Friends.
You're watching Professor Bats and Friends, sponsored by Artemis Overland Hardware, Timbo Tusk, Lifesaver Water Filters, Trail Rated Coffee, More Expo, Linson Solar, Big Iron Overland Rally, Tacform Mounts, Midland Radios, EcoFlow, MC Ranch Overland, Snowmaster Fridges, Mountain Hatch, Dow Dynamics Lighting, and in partnership with Natural State Overland, and always supporting our good friends at Oscar Mike and Blue Line Overland. Thank you for watching the show. Here we go.
Here we go.
See, that's what I'm talking about. Oh man, go Pokes, lose or win. That's what I'm talking about. Let me tell you, I've been a Razorback fan since I was born.
Yep.
My granny refused to let me be born in Texas. She went down and got me. I got my mama when she was 2 weeks before I was due, and wanted to make sure I was born in Arkansas because she hated Texas. She hated the Longhorns. And from that day, I've been a Razorback fan, and I know how to lose. So, I can rib you about your team all day.
Buddy.
We have never been good. So anyway.
Buddy, I was just about in the same boat. I was about 30 minutes from being born in San Antonio.
Oh.
I mean, that's a little drastic, but a little more than 30 minutes, but it was still pretty close.
Yeah. Sitting around camp is a new passion we learned. Yes.
Yes.
I agree with you. And, when we were there, it was good, especially when you got good people to sit around with, talk, learn. Scott was there. Scott's got more stories than Carter had peels. I mean, he's got so much to say, so much to talk about, been through so much. And I love sitting around with people like that and just learning. But I have developed a lot of new habits here lately that I want to talk about. I'll say habits, probably passions would be, probably a thing. And, probably the one that I love the most right now would be hiking. It is Nathan Anderson, the photographer of Natural State, More Expo, and all of the above. Just got back from a trip with
Go Explore
USA.
Yeah.
I saw all the pictures, posted great pictures, Nathan.
Yeah.
Doing a fine job. But I absolutely have fell in love with hiking the past few months. It's a great way to work out. It's a great way to stay in shape. Plus I get to see a whole bunch of stuff that I've never seen before. And every time I go to these places, like going to Devil's Den on Sunday, I've lived in Arkansas my whole life. I've never seen that before. And so to live in a state for 50 years and see things that are new all the time, it's really amazing. A couple of years ago, we got the waterfall book from Tim Ernst, and we started doing the waterfalls. And, I started to say, I've lived here my whole life. I didn't know these were here. And so absolutely love those. Recently, I've done Arkansas Spring. Okay.
Yeah. Tim Ernst book. I've got the Waterfalls book. That's one I was going for. But anyway, yeah.
Yeah, Tim Ernst is a great author. If you want to know some things about, he knows pretty much every single square inch of Arkansas. So if you want to know some things about Arkansas, just look up Tim Ernst. He is on Amazon. You can get his books from there, or timernst.com, I believe.
Yeah.
But I've recently fell in love with going to the state parks all over again. I did the Rim Trail at Mount Nebo, which you go there on a clear day, you can see forever. It is such a beautiful place. Easy hike, a lot of cool places to see. Cadram Summit Park is right in my backyard, about 2 minutes from my house. Been there a lot. Petty Jean's right down the road, 20 minutes from my house. Got hikes all over it. Just a beautiful place. But I am goal oriented. So, if you give me something where I can check off a list or, say that I have done so much or something, and I have found this app, it's called All Trails. All Trails is, let me take this banner off so you can see it. All Trails has hiking trails, biking trails, all throughout the United States and maybe even all over the world. But it will tell you a trail that is near to you. It will track you, tell you. And I was really glad I had this on my backpacking trip because we got off trail one time and it kind of my watch kind of buzzed a little bit. They said, I think you're going the wrong way. And I was glad that it told me that because I did not want to do anything further than what I had to on that 20-mile trip. But what's cool about this app is that it will track you by month, by day. It'll tell you how much that you've done. And so I looked at it the other day, and since September the 1st, I have actually hiked 56 miles. And so that's pretty cool to me. You know, it tells me how many calories I burned, the altitude that I've changed, gave me statistics on all that. You can go in there and upload pictures, and it saves it for you. And it's just a really, really neat thing to have. I mean, it don't use your battery like I thought it would. So it's a lot like OnX in the vehicle, where it will tell you, you can pull it up and it'll tell you all the trails that are near to you, mountain biking trails, hiking trails, all that stuff. So it's really, really cool out.
Nice.
But I love it. Now I have a lot of, let's see, All Trails is legit. They love it. So Experience in Arkansas loves it. Butterfield Trail at Devil's Den. That's a nice hike. Gen Xers, I appreciate you bringing that up. Butterfield Trail is, I think, 14 miles. You actually have to have a permit to go do it. It is one of the few places up there where you can backpack in and overnight. It's pretty cool place. And I plan to do that. But yeah, I kind of have to have more than one day. Joe says I use All Trails hiking all the time. Saved my butt on Mount Shivano in Colorado on my first 14er. I will let you know when you're off trail. Some of these trails are marked good, some of them are not. So it's really good tool to have. Now there's so many. If you were to ask, so what's your dream trail? And Joe, I know you do a lot of hiking, Gen Xers as well. If y'all have like a dream trail you want to go on, tell me where you want to go. And Nathan's on here too.
Well, I can tell you what Joe's dream trail is. He's been trying to get me to go for a couple of weeks now.
Oh yeah.
Right off the top of my head, I don't remember the name of it, but it's a trail in Arizona. It might actually be called the Arizona Trail or something, but it's like 800 miles.
Oh goodness.
It just blows my mind why anybody would take off and want to do a trail. But
there's some pretty long ones out there. You know,
he says it takes like 2 months to do or something. And I'm like, no,
that's
sorry, Joe, I'm out.
Ways.
I mean, I'm in shape for it. I just don't have that much vacation time, you know. So
yeah, look at there. You got it.
Arizona Trail.
Arizona Trail. Yeah.
I was betting that was going to be what his choice would be.
Yeah. I tell you what, if I have some time next summer in July, I'm going to the Tetons because I'm going out to the Tetons in Wyoming and spend some time out there. So Joe says the Arizona Trail culminates in a rim to rim of the Grand Canyon. So that's pretty stinking cool. And I can't imagine the views that you would have doing that. So that's pretty amazing. I can't even fathom what that would look like. Jenny Lake Trail and Grand Teton National Park. There was one that we went by that I looked up in Minnesota when I was up there, Cowiche Falls, the Highline Trail and Glacier National Park. But you know, I've been looking up doing some hiking in Europe and seeing what it would cost to go over there for 7 days and do some Sweden, the Mount Blanc in France, Italy, and Switzerland, or maybe even Machu Picchu, which is something I've always wanted to do. So there are some really cool resources out there that I have found that will help you find some trails if you want to do this. Earth Trekkers is one. Look up Earth Trekkers. Earth Trekkers will tell you the top hikes in the world to put on your bucket list. So they will, it lists like the top trails in the world. And then if you look at outsideonline.com, it will tell you the best hikes in each state. So you can look up, if you're going to a state, it will tell you the best hikes in each state, which is pretty cool. So I have looked up both, got them printed off, and now I've got my checklist that I can do. So
you got that goal oriented checklist. Some good
resource. Now, one of the things that you like to do when we go out is, let's see, Joe says my favorite hike was hiking Mount Olympus in Greece in 2019. Wow. You're probably the only person I know that's ever done that. So that's pretty stinking cool. I'll have to put that on my list. Now, one of the things you like to do, Tony, that you have done several times when we have been out camping is fish.
Yeah.
Tell me about your fishing. You have a really interesting fish setup sometimes.
Yeah. There's a funny story that I wanted to share with you on Joe's comment here about the catfish hole at camp.
Yeah.
So after rendezvous, I was camping with Joe and his son and Kelly. We were on the road that Car Wash Falls is on. What's the name of that river?
That's the Little Piney.
Big Piney. Yeah.
Big Piney.
Big Piney.
Yeah.
So it's the spot up there that everybody camps on. It's a well-known spot. It's one of the few at that time that had a decent amount of water in it. Well, we were there fishing, and Joe's son was asking me if I thought there was any catfish in this river. And I said, no, I don't think so. I mean, I'm used to seeing things, like, little bass and perch and stuff like that. And I said, I don't think so. And we'd been fishing off and on all day and hadn't caught anything. And I'll be darned if like 5 minutes later, he pulls up the only fish that was caught. He pulls up a catfish out of that river.
Well,
anyway,
I've never seen one there.
It just blew my mind.
I have pulled up at that spot before and seen fish down below because, it's got that bank that you pull up on that you can see down into the water. And I pulled up there one time and there was like 20 smallmouth just swimming around down in there, and it's a great, great spot.
Yeah. So what I would keep in the truck all the time is this guy right here.
Yeah. Does that have a name?
Steinhauser.
So it's not from here. Oh, it's telescoping. I love the telescoping
fishing rod.
Yeah. Love the telescoping.
It packs up, goes in, small spot and everything like that. Yeah. Stores away pretty easy.
Yeah.
So that one is easy to get to. I keep it in the deck system in that little cubby in the back, and it's
right.
I just hop out, even if I'm not camping, if I just pull over somewhere, I can hop out and grab that. But I always keep the fly rod too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
White River. Got you White River fly rod.
White River fly rod. They live in the truck.
Yeah.
I'm not big on trout, but I'm not a fan of the taste, but I like all the other stuff,
Catching them's fun though.
Yeah, catching
them's fun.
Yeah.
I also have a couple rod and reel combos. One I just got off of Amazon. It's a Chinese, I think it's Seguya Lang telescoping rod and reel. I don't have it with me. It's out there in my FJ. It lives out there. And then for my fly rod, I got this deal right here. This is made by Reyr, R-E-Y-R. And it's a telescoping fly rod, and the line goes through the rod and everything is ready to go. It takes me about 20 seconds to get this thing set up.
Wow.
And it weighs less than, I think it weighs like 13 ounces. It's so light. Now they are very expensive, but when we went out to
anything fly rod is going to be expensive.
Yeah, you're right. But I have, and I tell you, I let the guy who taught me how to fly fish, which was Scott. I let him throw it and get out there, and he actually was pretty impressed with it. So if he's impressed with it, it's pretty good. But Reyr gear is what it is, and it goes from 18 inches, I believe, all the way up to 10 foot. So it's a pretty neat deal, and I absolutely love it. It's super cool. Love.
Is it your Snoopy pole?
Yeah, just about. Fairy wands. So you call fly rods fairy wands. Okay, I see that because you just wave them back and forth like that.
Yeah.
Turn you into a newt or something like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, you just get out there with those little rods, maybe a fanny pack or some little, lure or whatever, and you're good to go. I mean, there was one time I took you to that place. Of course, we didn't catch anything the last time we were there because there wasn't any water. But I mean, I went up on the Mulberry River and camped right there, and I caught like 20, just standing out there in the middle of the river. It was so much fun. Bruiser would not leave me alone. He wanted to help. And it was just not a good time. I told him he was not allowed to go fishing with Dad again. But anyway, it was a fun time. So fishing is a fun thing, and most everybody likes to do that. You've done it with your parents or your papa or whatever. I grew up. My papa taught me how to fish. He took me fishing all the time, and every time I go, I think of him. So it's just one of those things that I just love to do. So
best way to honor those memories and maintain those connections is to keep doing the things. I grew up camping, just about always involved fishing. So
yeah, me too. Same here. Now the new thing that I've got into is biking. Now I mountain biked several years ago when I was doing college ministry. There was a couple of us, about two afternoons a week. We would go down to, what's it called down there? Camp Robinson had some of the best mountain bike trails. And it's really kind of hard to get onto the base now, but they had some of the best mountain biking trails. And I absolutely had the best time of my life doing that down there. And I've recently got back into that and absolutely love it. Now, mountain biking has blown up in Arkansas, especially up there where you live.
Yeah.
And I looked it up today. Northwest Arkansas has deemed itself to be the mountain biking capital of the world. And yesterday, or
I didn't even know.
Sunday, went up to a place called Crystal Bridges in Bentonville.
Yeah.
And looked at the trails on the maps and how extensive they were. And okay, I don't know if you were to guess how many miles of mountain biking trails there are up in Northwest Arkansas. Now, this is top tier. So it's not just regular mountain biking trails. These are top tier, well-maintained mountain biking trails just in Northwest Arkansas. So Bentonville, Springdale, Fayetteville, that little area right there, more than 250 miles.
Oh my gosh.
Of mountain biking trails. And so when I looked at this map, I was just blown away. It went almost all the way to Missouri. It was crazy.
Yeah. So do they group the paved trail that runs through town from like
No, that's not in there.
That's not part of it. Because that's like 26 miles by itself.
This is just single track dirt mountain biking trails.
Wow.
Yeah. Unbelievable. Now, one of the things I've always wanted to do, and this is going to be on my bucket list, and I know that there's 4 different places in Colorado that do this. But during the summer, when all the snow melts, you can actually take your bike, get on the gondolas at the ski resorts, and they will take you to the top. And they actually have single track mountain biking trails. You don't even have to pedal. You just go all the way down. And some of them, I was talking to Chris from Trail Rated Coffee, and he said there's some of them, it takes you almost an hour to get down to the bottom, and you never have to pedal. That sounds so stinking fun. I want to do that so bad. So you just put your bike on the gondola, take it up, get off, go down the trails, and they have them marked just like they do the ski slope. So they have the black, the blues, the whites, whatever. And you just pretty much coast all the way down, and you just get back on and ride back to the top and do it again. That sounds freaking amazing. I want to do that.
That would be pretty cool, yeah.
I want to do that. I want to do that so bad. Gen Xer says Walmart has invested millions in the mountain biking trails in Arkansas. I'm sure they have. Hobbs State Park has mountain biking trails also in Weddington, and those are not included that I think that I know of. I don't know if they're included in the 250 miles. I have been to Hobbs State Park one time to do they have one of the nicest visitor centers, and they have the best t-shirts. I bought like 4 t-shirts when I was there. Really nice. I'd never been there before. Hobbs State Park. Pretty cool. And that's up there where you live.
Yeah.
Not too far. Joe says that would be awesome. I would love to go out there and do that, where they just get on there with your bike, take you to the top, you get off, you ride to the bottom, get it back on, take it to the top. I mean, there wouldn't be much of a workout in, but still the fun would be so cool. Timothy Beck, what's up?
Hey man, thanks for watching.
Yeah, thanks for watching. Now there's something totally new that's out there that I had no idea. So Chris from Trail Rated Coffee started talking to me about this new thing called backpacking.
Just blows my mind.
What? He has introduced me to a whole new world that I didn't know was out there. It's called backpacking. You can look it up. Backpacking.com has a whole website dedicated. They have trails that are listed all over the United States. It's overlanding on a freaking bicycle. Are you kidding me? And he hooked me right off the bat. I mean, it was hook, line, and sinker.
Yeah, I didn't know it existed. That's crazy.
Didn't know it existed. So I started looking up some of these pictures of these bikes that have been outfitted. And this bike here has pack on the front, pack on the back, a little pack on the top, and then a pack through the frame. And on this bike, they carry everything. They carry their clothes, they carry their tent, they carry their food, what they cook with. And these people travel hundreds of miles, some of them thousands of miles on these bicycles and live off of them. It's stinking cool.
Where's the roof rack and the rooftop tent?
I was kidding with Chris and said, man, I need to find me a little bicycle trailer I can put me a rooftop tent on. And I said, you watch, somebody's gonna come out with it, because it's just there. Somebody's gonna do it. It's gonna be cool. But here I am starting something new, and little did I know on bikepacking.com there's a series of 3 trails in Arkansas that they have on their website that's over 120 miles. I didn't even know it was there. Didn't even know it was there. And so here I have something in my own backyard that I have not experienced, but I have started a whole new build. I built out my FJ. I built out my adventure bike, and now I'm building out a bicycle for backpacking.
A bicycle.
Oh my goodness. I actually put the rear rack on it right before the show started. So I'm hooked. Hook, line, and sinker. I mean, he got me.
So when's your first trip? What's your first trip?
I don't know. My schedule's so full, I really don't have a clue when I'm going to be able to do this. But fortunately, I have been able to rig up on my FJ a way to carry bikes. I had to put an extension on my to get past my dual swing out and my spare tire and all that. I had to put an extension on my receiver, and then I put a bicycle carrier on there, so it sticks out like 19 feet out behind my FJ. But by gosh, it works, and I can put 3 bikes on there and carry them everywhere I go. So I can put my bikes on there.
This vehicle makes wide right turns. You don't need one of those signs.
Yeah. And I've also got 2 bicycle mounts that I got from Rhino Rack that I'm going to put on the roof. So here's my plan.
Uh-oh.
And we haven't talked about this yet, but get ready for this at More Expo, because in the Rhino Rack booth, I'm going to have my FJ there. The tent's going to be popped up and set up with a kayak and 2 bicycles on it.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah. That's going to blow your mind.
Wow.
Yeah. So
that's pretty cool.
Pretty excited about that. I got my kayak rack up there, but I've got to get a new set of bars for the tent, because my kayak racks have to be spaced out, but the bicycle racks had to be closer together. So I've got to add a whole nother bar in the center to be able to put my bicycles on there. But when I get it set up, I'm going to be able to have everything I need with my kayak and my bicycles on there. Everything I need to be able to do anything I want wherever I go. How cool is that?
That would be cool.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about that a little bit more here in just a minute. So,
heck yeah.
Experience in Arkansas says, saw a guy doing this on Hawksbill Craig Trail last year, miles of nasty gravel road on skinny bike tires, glutton for punishment. Yeah. Now, I haven't got into the bikepacking is a little bit different from the gravel biking, and I just found all this out because I've done so much research on it in the last month. But there's gravel biking, backpacking, mountain biking, and road biking. So you can do pretty much any of it that you want. Now, road biking is not really my thing. I have a road bike, but I don't like staying bent over all the time and wearing those unitards and all that other stuff that you have to wear when you do those, and all the sponsors and like NASCAR all over.
Yeah.
Those are kind of fun. It's not really my thing though, because if I do that a lot, I'm going to eventually get hit by a car.
That's be my concern.
Yeah. So I just soon get off in the woods and get hit by a Jeep, So I don't want to get hit by a car. I'd rather get hit by a Jeep.
Yeah. You'll survive getting hit by a Jeep because it won't be going fast enough.
But gravel biking's been around a long time. They do a lot of gravel bike races. I can't tell you how many times I've been on the roads in the Ouachita National Forest and, I meet a guy or girl on a bicycle. And it looks like a road bike, a 10-speed bike, but it has bigger, fatter gravel tires on it. And it doesn't look comfortable at all. But, hey, to each their own. And a lot of people do it, so it must be something to it.
Right.
I don't know. But I love riding bicycles. Been riding a bicycle. Almost everybody rides a bicycle. Everybody can just about go back to that time when they took the training wheels off. Dad reached back and pushed him as hard as he could, see how far you could go before you fell over and skinned your knee. But pretty much everybody's rode a bicycle before. So it's something that you can maybe go back to and, get some exercise, be healthy or whatever.
Yeah.
But I love it. Now, one thing that's a little bit different that I want to talk about, because we are talking about doing some things overlanding while you're overlanding. Now, I know that you're into this, and I'm into this pretty heavy in different ways. But do you collect souvenirs on your trips?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you collect certain things, or what do you do?
Well, I mean, we typically stick to, we do the patches and the stickers and, T-shirts, stuff like that. Some random novelty stuff. Sometimes it kind of maybe is unique, but usually it's just T-shirts, patches.
I would hate to know the amount of money I've spent on patches and stickers.
Yeah.
I mean, that would just, I really don't think I'd be able to sleep tonight if I knew the amount of money, because I could probably bought a brand new, Forerunner or something.
I don't have probably a fourth of the patches you do, and I'd hate to even guess how much you
I'm just waiting for my headliner to come crashing down on my head one day while we're doing a trail. I mean, it's just going to come down. I know it is, because my headliner has to weigh at least 700 pounds with the patches that are up there.
Well, we just have to drill straight through the top and put a bolt in a big.
Yeah, that's what we need to do. Yeah, go straight through the tent, through the rack, through the roof.
And then those big patches that you can get from Mason, you can use that to cover up the bolt heads on the inside.
Yeah, those. I did a little video on that. If you've never seen it, it's pretty funny. But those patches that Mason has for autism. Are almost as big as like a motorcycle club center patch on the rack. I mean, they're humongous. And so anyway, but by the way, if anybody has any experience putting patches decently on a headliner, please get with Mason, because he is the most horrible at it I've ever seen in my life.
Really?
It's like he stands back and just throws them, and wherever they land, they land. It's horrible.
Oh,
I can't. My OCD, I can't even look at it.
I haven't seen it.
Can't look at it.
It's just
so
I'll have to.
Absolutely awful. Yeah, it's horrible. Now
so
I
do collect the stamps. So I started that this year. You kind of got me
Right.
started on that when I go to places. But other than that, that's pretty much it.
I do collect the state park stamps, national park stamps. Love doing that. That's such fun. Now, when I started doing motorcycle trips years ago, we were collecting. I had a T-shirt from every Harley Davidson dealership. Oh, you got your National Forest Adventure book. Look at there.
That came in. So
yeah.
Another thank you for that.
Excellent. No problem. But I do love those. I love those books, memories that you can pass down from generation to generation. So that's pretty cool. But years ago, before I started overlanding in a vehicle, I was pretty much overlanding on a motorcycle. And I'd pull a trailer behind my Harley. We'd camp anywhere and everywhere. And I had a T-shirt from every Harley Davidson dealership in the friggin' known world. I mean, I had, but you end up with 800,000 T-shirts that if you wore one a day, you couldn't wear them all in 3 years.
Yeah.
And so we started doing shot glasses, and now I've got shot glasses all over, but they just take up a lot of room. And I'm like, why are you doing this? You don't even look at them. They get dust all over them. And anyway, so I started doing journals and knives. I've got knives from different countries. I've got purses from different countries. I've got a thing that says "Welcome to Ghana," on it. I've got some jewelry that's made out of volcanic ash from Italy. I mean, I've got all kinds of stuff.
Random novelty stuff.
Random. Yeah. All of it is just total random. Yeah. You get sand from the beach. You bring back shells and they start smelling like butt and making your house stink up.
Oh, dude.
They're horrible.
Don't bring hermit crabs back.
Don't bring hermit crabs. They stink. They're horrible.
If they die in their cage, you better get them out quick.
Oh, they stink.
Ask me how I know.
But I tell you, in my old age, the thing that I collect the most now, food.
Food? Yeah.
I love getting local food. In fact, we were talking before the show over Thanksgiving week. I'm going to New Mexico. It's been a couple years since I've stopped there, and I have been out of green chilies. I want fresh roasted green chilies. And you better have some, or I won't be angry. And some chicharrones.
There's a shortage.
No, there's not. You better shut your mouth. I love, and we talked about this last week. One of my favorite things in the whole world is hole in the wall local grocery stores. They have stuff there, and I could spend all day there. I would drive 12 hours to Santa Fe just to go through a local grocery store. And let me tell you, I have researched it, and there's 4 that I'm going to that are there. Local Hispanic grocery stores or New Mexican grocery stores. I don't know what they are, but they've got all this cool stuff. People have wrote all these things. Oh, you can get stuff here that you can't get anywhere. And I'm like, I'm there. I love it.
I want to go back to that one up there where Porker lives.
Jackson's meat shop.
Yeah.
Yellow-eyed peas. We got cast iron right there in the front. Have a little looks like a yard sale right there in the front. We bought steaks that were on clearance. We got some ramps that you can't get from anywhere except there. It was amazing. I love it.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna skip the ramps next time, but I've tried them. They're
well,
good.
There's something to say about everywhere you go, you have a fridge freezer. Everywhere you go. So we were actually able to buy, I think I spent $120 on steaks.
Yeah.
Because they had a whole bunch of them that were on clearance and they had them less than half price. And we were getting ready for our big trip that summer. And I'm like, I'm stocking up because I'll eat steak every night. I don't care. And
you just crank that Snowmaster fridge down and
I turned that Snowmaster down to 15 degrees and hauled them all the way home. And that's, I plan to do that in New Mexico too. So if I find stuff out there that I want to bring home, I'll turn that freezer down and I'll bring it home. I don't care.
Bring home a truckload of chicharrones, huh?
You daggone right. Daggone right. Chicharrones. If you're out there listening and you have not had chicharrones, you have not lived. I promise. Right. Woo, deep fried pork belly. I mean, who would not want to eat that? God,
right.
I swear.
With spicy bean dip.
Yeah. Now there's a difference. There's a difference between chicharrones and pork rinds. Okay, they're not the same.
No,
they're not the same.
They're not.
Chicharrones they're thick and they're chewy, so it tastes like bacon. So it's chewy like bacon, deep fried with a crust on the outside. Okay?
Oh,
Pork rinds are just the skin.
just the skin.
Chicharrones are the meat.
Oh.
So they're totally, completely different. Totally and completely different. So when you go to the store, when you go down to the local Five and Dime or the Stop and Rob, and you see a little package of pork rinds that says chicharrones on it, that's bullcrap. That's not chicharrones.
They're fakers.
They're misleading you. I promise. You need to go to the New Mexico Beef Jerky Company in Albuquerque and order 5 pounds of chicharrones and bring them home because they are freaking awesome.
Freaking awesome.
Now, in your collection of things, if it's not food, of course, I still have to watch out in food because I only have so much freezer space. But the problem that I have is I don't want to end up with a whole bunch of stuff. Of course, I use it to decorate my home with, but I don't want a whole bunch of stuff. In 5 years, I'm going to retire. I'm probably going to move from here and maybe go on the road full time. I don't know. And I don't want to have to get a, place to pack all my stuff or give it away or whatever. So I try to do my collecting in moderation a little bit. So I don't want to just build up a whole bunch of stuff. That's why I actually went to food, because you eat it and it's gone. That way you go back and get some more.
Yeah.
And eat it and it's gone.
You
it's
can collect
like a cycle.
some other thing.
It's a cycle. I love it. But in doing this, in doing all the things that we've talked about, so we've talked about fishing, we've talked about mountain biking, we've talked about road biking, gravel biking, bikepacking, all this other stuff. We talked about hiking. You need to be able to consider your setup. Are you able to carry all the gear that you need to enjoy the things you talked about? Do you have a way to carry mountain bikes? Do you have a way to carry any kind of bicycle, or do you have room for a backpack? Do you keep one ready to go, like a day pack? I always keep a day pack ready to go that's got everything I need in there. It's got snack, water, first aid kit, different things like that, and a change of clothes because I always sweat. But I always keep one of those packed, ready to go, and I make sure that I have room for it. And when you are building your rig, are you considering these things when you build your rig? Are you considering, I'm just going to go there and I'm going to stop and I'm going to cook, or I'm just going to sit back in my chair and have a good time? Or am I going to want a mountain bike? Am I going to want to, go on a hike or kayak or whatever? Am I going to have a way to carry all these things? Do you have a way to pack your fishing poles, your backpacks, or whatever? Now, are you able to utilize your receiver hitch? Some people can, some people can't. Can you put a rack on your rooftop tent? So that's some of the things you need to consider. You have an iCamper, which does not have a rack on it. I have a 23-0 Kabard, which does have a rack on it. And that was really one of the reasons why I wanted my tent over something else, because I wanted to be able to put stuff on top of it. And so I was, trying to plan for the future, thinking I may want to carry a kayak. I may want to carry bicycles. I may want to carry, something else. I may want to put some solar panels up there. It's not the ideal setup, but it's the perfect setup for me.
Yeah.
And so, or do you have a trailer where you can carry some of these things? Now, on your trailer, you have a hard shell tent that has a rack on top of it. So you would be able to carry some things. Now you have some solar panels up there. You'd have to rearrange a little bit, but you do have the capacity to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. If I made some changes, I could probably, add a couple of crossbars and still somewhat utilize the solar panels, but just add stuff over them in transportation and possibly still have the solar panels for when we get to where we're going and unload the gear, so.
Well, and you and I both have compact vehicles. They're not large vehicles.
Mm-hmm.
And so we have to consider our room. And so we have to be able to utilize all the space that we have inside and outside. So if you don't have a trailer, you need to think about that. If you do have a trailer, you can utilize that. But if you want to do all these things when you go out, make sure that you make room or you plan for that in your build so that you can make room for backpacks or something
Right.
in your receiver hitch to carry bicycles or some way to carry your kayak. So consider that with the size of your vehicle. That's something that you definitely want to do, because most of us, we love to travel. That's why we overland. That's why we get outside. That's why we go outdoors. And in the outdoors, we want to experience the peace of being where most people don't ever get to go. And that's one of the things that has really hit home with me with the mountain biking and the hiking here lately, because I'm going where I've never been. I've lived in this state for 50 years and I'm still stepping in new places every single week that I've never been before. And so that really hit home with me about experiencing a place fully instead of just bypassing. You talked about my post today about traveling through states and just, like Kansas being one of those states you just want to get through because there's nothing there. But when you get off the beaten path, you see that every state has something to offer. And, I experienced that in Kansas this year. And that was really eye opening to me. So being able to get off the beaten path and slow down and being able to enjoy something fully is really what hit home with me lately.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But, we have the equipment, we have the rigs, the vehicles, the gear that are capable of putting us off grid, but do not miss out on some of the cool things. If you have to walk a mile to see it, do it. If you have to, get out of your car and walk a little bit, that's fine. Do it. It'll be good for you. Sometimes that requires a little investigating, a little digging, researching before you go. I'm big on that. I'm going to Santa Fe in a week and a half, and I have researched to the nth degree everything that's around Santa Fe, that's in Santa Fe, and going to the national parks and seeing the cliff dwellings. And I agree, Joe. Oklahoma is a great state that gets overlooked. The thing that Oklahoma is best known for, tornadoes. So when you think about going through Oklahoma, you're watching the weather, you're looking at the sky, and every time I go through Amarillo, I see one of the best storms I've ever seen in my life. But there are so many cool things out there, and there's people that have done amazing overlanding routes out there.
Yeah.
And I would love to take my adventure bike out there and do some of that. It's a really cool place. But, experience everything you can while you're out and about. Take it all in and do your best to live your best life. So that's what we're talking about. Taking advantage of where we're at.
That's good advice.
Yeah, you betcha. Man, next week we're going to talk about water, kayaking, paddleboarding, water skiing. I don't know. We'll talk about some stuff.
That I'm looking forward to it. That'll be something. I love to kayak, and since I started the Gladiator build, I haven't really addressed how I'm going to carry the kayak.
Yeah. So
that'll be something, food for thought to think about for next week.
Definitely. It always is. This show is just as much a lesson for me as it is for anybody else out there. Because this is pretty much me just speaking to myself, getting out there and enjoying life to the fullest. And, when I talk about stepping in new places, when I've lived here for 50 years, people have lived here longer than me who have never seen the places that we're seeing and going to, and that's the whole part of overlanding, and why I tell people I want to take my daughters to Colorado and have them go over Engineers Pass and all that, because if they don't go with me, more than likely they'll never see it.
Yeah.
Because if you don't get off that highway, if you don't take that dirt road, if you don't see what's beyond there, then there's so many places that you'll just miss. You'll just drive right by and never know that they were there. And I've experienced that with hiking as well. So, it's just one way of just getting out there and exploring,
Right. That's right.
It's just a little part of it. Well, hey, I really enjoyed it, Tony. This was fun. This is fun. You know, as always, I love visiting with you, and I love everybody joining in and giving us their feedback, comments. And,
lots of great feedback tonight. I appreciate that from everybody.
I'm glad we had the comments. We weren't able to have comments last week.
It was good to have Michael on, commenting stuff. So really
good to have Michael. Well, I appreciate everybody being here. This was, as always, a great time. I almost had to work tonight. It got canceled right at the last minute, and so excited that it did. So anyway, while you're out there, take advantage of all the different ways that you can get out there and explore. Whatever you like, whatever your build, make sure you take that into consideration. On behalf of Tony and myself, I hope you have a wonderful week. We'll be back next week.
Same bad time, same bad channel.
As always, Professor Bats and Friends coming to you live. Have a great week. Look out for number 1 and
See
step in number 9.
Join us next week. Same bad time, same bad channel. Boom.
Professor and Friends 2022.
Woo-woo. Thank you for watching.
It's your Professor and Bats with Friends. Yeah.
Professor Bats and Friends.
The Professor Bats and Friends.
Professor Bats and Friends. Ka-chow.
Do I need butter?
Professor and